Greeting fellow modelers. Here, a Fiddlers Green special, the Hawker Hunter, a beauty of a jet from Britain. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Come on, man, how many times do I have to tell you to check out Fiddlers Green? This is a great start to a wonderful hobby. And here we have the Hawker Hunter. This is 3 pages. Here we see the forward part of the fuselage, the intake fairing that's located there, the cockpit canopy, the spine, and this what they call the Sabrinas blisters. Those are what held the shells for the 40mm cannon. Here we have the tailpipe, the speed brake, the fin and stabilizer, the main wing panel, the landing gears, and pretty much that's it. And here is the layout of how we're going to put this together. Yes? So let's dive in. So for my tools, I have Aleene's tacky glue. Can't recommend that enough. Super glue, any super glue, a tweezer, or 2 or 3. You know what? More tweezers, the better. So let's add 1 more. Cake decorating tool, X-Acto knife, my scissors, trusted scissors, steel rule for straight edge cutting, and some brush. This toothpick, can't do without it. And a cutter. I decided to get myself a cutter. Of course, cutting out part. This is my own personal preference, okay? I just cut parts out, help me to focus on them. You don't have to do this, but hey, this works for me to focus on what I'm doing. So yeah, this is me cutting parts out to begin. Let's start with the wings, shall we? So pretty much this is going to be straightforward. We cut off the excess, and once we do this, we're going to then use our scissors to make sure get the curves out. You see me using the straight edge rule now. You see I using the back side of my X-Acto knife, the dull side. It helps me to do a straight edge proper. I use a steel rule to bend along that spine here. This is what forms the leading edge. And of course, this is where I made my first mistake. After I have done all of this, this is fine and wonderful. But there's another fold that should have been made at the front. That would save us a lot of problem in the future. And yeah, you will see eventually. But here you see me now cleaning it up because again, Fiddlers Green kit, it's not like it's 100% accurate, but it's good enough. And here we're doing the trailing edge for the other side, and that's good. So in the future, the leading edge at the inside, just make sure you fold that over and glue. That's all. Here we're doing the center panel. We'll join it here, and that's good. Now, being who I am, I like a little structure so it don't fold and bend. So I am just on one side, just gluing toothpick. Then I'm going to just mark out on the wing joint tab where the toothpick would be. Cut that part out, put glue along it, and then slide it into position just like that. Use my tweezer and I'm going to lock it down. On the leading edge again, I'm going to repeat that tab that's out there should have been folded and glued to the other side of the leading edge wing panel. So pay attention to that when you're doing yours. The forward fuselage assembly. Now, although this seems straightforward, there's one part I'm going to want you to pay attention to. We'll soon come to that. You see me rolling and cutting. Yes, it's tedious to cut out the joint tabs. Here I'm cutting out the area where the wing aerofoil would be. It's worth cutting out those joint tabs, okay? It really would help you with the practice for when you're doing more complicated models. Here I'm cutting out again the joint tabs. We'll roll and repeat the process what we did for the main fuselage that we just did. So we just repeat the process for all of them. Thank you so much to the designer of this kit. It's really a wonderful kit. I like how it came together. I like the colors of it. It's really a decent looking kit. Here we come to the penultimate part and then the nose. Now this part here, please spend all the time you need, and that's why you see the video is even drawn out a bit. And you see I'm now using the tip of my paintbrush handle to form the compound curve. That's what's needed. Use my kick decorating tool to press down, and there we have it. A nice nose. The focal point of any model is the cockpit, the nose, and the front half of the model. Everybody pays attention to that. So if you get at least that part right, you have halfway got yourself a decent model. And here we're just aligning and joining. And if you notice, I'm not putting the glue on the tabs. I'm putting it on the main fuselage because the tab will add to the structure. So it's better to do it. And just check the alignment of the emblems that's located on the aircraft. It helps you align the tabs. So pay careful attention to that. Using my cake decorating tool to just press down the joints and make sure that they are secure. And we just repeat the process until we get to the forward half of the fuselage. Nice. Check your alignments and you're good to go. Cutting out the rear part, we roll, we join, and then we add to the fuselage. And then we'll put our wing in through, and then we secure our wing in position. Just making sure that those tabs are down securely. And then we're going to secure the wing that we have installed. Again, you see those tabs which are out? They should not be there. They should have been folded inside the leading edge. So the rear fuselage assembly now is pretty much straightforward. Same like how we did the forward fuselage. We just check tip piece, just make sure that they're aligned properly, and you're good to go. The Hawker Hunter is truly a fascinating and beautiful jet. You know, to believe that it lasted so long after its development is a testimony to just its beauty and performance. Here, the rear part that will take the tailpipe later on, and then we join everything together. Again, you see I'm not putting glue on the tabs, I'm putting it on the fuselage itself, and then a work kit there. I find that it works better for me that way. And now we're joining to the rest of the fuselage. Take our time, check the alignment, and we're good to go. And we secure in place. Yep, starting to look like a Hunter. Now the wing root intake, once we cut them out. We take our time and fold as you're seeing here. We just roll slightly with our paintbrush handle and cut that part out. And now care must be taken not to cut it off. We're barely cutting. Okay? You have not seen it in the video, but I got rid of the folded area before I actually put this on. So please just remember that in your build. Do not make that mistake like I did. And here you see I've just put in the glue on, and good, great. And once we get this into position, we just repeat the process for the other side. Yes, making sure that the tail surface, nice. The other side, we just make sure, repeat the same process, and we're good. Just quick shout out to each and every one of you here who watching the video even to this point. I really appreciate you following me on the journey and the dream of doing as much of these models as possible and to present them to you, because to tell the truth, this is what I love doing. I love sharing this hobby with you all. So let's deal with the fin and the stabilizer. Here we have the fin we're cutting out. Yes, we're repeating the tab that we're joining again. You see I'm using the back part of the knife to just score along the edge of it. And this I fold over. Now to give it some shape, I'm going to use the paintbrush handle, and I'm going to just add a little curve to the leading edge of it, right? But before that, I'm going to just take out the part for the stabilizer. You see, I'm cutting it out. You see, it's thick. It's not a thin one cut. It's really thick. And then I'm using the paintbrush handle now to just form the curve. This is going to be important in the future. So please don't skip this step, all right? You'll see what I did with it. We cut the other side out. And once we're done, we're going to use a toothpick and form the other side of the curve. The first one, you could have used a toothpick. I just used the first thing that I had that came to mind, and that was a paintbrush handle. Here you see I'm putting glue on the side without the tabs. And then I try to align them. Just make sure the alignment is good first. And then I'm going to press against the surface to make sure everything is locked and leveled. Don't worry about the curve we put in, it will still be there. And that's what it's going to look like roughly. Now let's put the stabilizer in and we should be good. Straightforward, we just cut out. We're going to fold that part. You see how I'm using steel rule and the back part of my X-Acto blade to mark it. The leading edge now, I just use a steel rule and fold over. Now I'm going to split the toothpick small so that it'll help the stabilizer stay straight. We just apply glue to the trailing edge, lock that in place, and then we're going to just slide this on the inside. Look at that. Awesome. Once we get it locked there, put a little hole in the stabilizer and put our toothpick in. This will make the structure very strong. Just clip off that. We're going to align it to the fuselage so we know where to put the hole. Put some glue on it and put in position. Nice. Good. Now it's coming together slowly but surely. This is good. All right. So the spine and the canopy, that's the spine. I'm going to put that there. And the cockpit canopy. So for the spine, we're going to use our brush handle and we're going to just do a quick roll and then cut that out. Then we're going to use a toothpick just to roll it even deeper. So that way we start with a big roll, then a small roll so it doesn't crease. And that's where it's going to go. Now to secure it and make it straight, we're going to put a toothpick down that area. And now you see why it was important how we did the fin, yes? And then we're going to put the spine in place. So after we did a test fit, we then glue in position. And we're good. And there we have it. Pretty much, right? Locked into position. Then we can put the cockpit on. And it's a typical standard way we all did our cockpit, like with the last videos we did of a Fiddlers Green model. We just cut along the joints just a little more than usual, glue the tabs, and yeah, pretty much it's straightforward. I really enjoy the variety of aircraft models that can be found at Fiddlers Green. I'm not paid to say this, I'm just saying this was where I started and it's a beautiful place to start. Get yourself a kit, it's well worth it. And then that's it. Look at that. Hawker Hunter! Now the Sabrinas. Just imagine doing 2 mini cockpit. That's basically the Sabrinas, right? We're cutting out where this is supposed to be the air intake for the extractor. And then we're going to form it the same way we did the cockpit. Use our cake decorating tool to just add a little more curve. And then we're going to glue this into position. And pretty much that's it. Just check the alignment and you're good to go. The jet tailpipe installation, simple thing. We're going to paint the back here, okay? And then we're going to cut it out. And you notice the darker part is the one where you put on the inside of the aircraft. We roll it and then we glue it together to form a proper circle. We paint the edge so it looks a little more real, and then we just install and we're good. The speed brake, treat it the same way we did the tailpipe. We just cut out, we're going to paint the back part of it, right? Add a slight curve to it. We're going to paint the area where the speed brake would be, and we just attach the glue. And to give some little realism, we're going to just make it partially deployed. Yeah, let's let it look pretty neat. The landing gear is a typical of all the other models. We're going to cut the main one and then focus on the nose, which comes in 2 pieces. And everything is a matter of fold, cut, and glue, as you can see here. And the main ones. And if you're not sure how to arrange them, just take a look at the aircraft. It usually gives you a clue as to where the orientation is supposed to be, which one's supposed to go where. For the landing gear, split a toothpick to add some strength split it. You don't use a huge toothpick. And then that's it. We cut the excess parts off. We make our wheels. I quite enjoyed the new way of making these wheels. It sort of gives some thickness to it. Alright, just take your time forming it and then paint the edges. Must paint the edges. This way it sort of add realism to it. And then we just put the wheels on and we're good to go. Just like that. The nose gear now, make a simple hole, small, cut the nose gear out as much as possible, and then even split a sliver of the toothpick inside, glue it together, and then we can cut the remaining part off once it's stable. Yes, and then we just install the landing gear and we're good. I just want to thank you all for just following me on this journey of building the Hawker Hunter. There will be so much more jets coming in the future. I can't wait to show you. Now, the final little part we need to do is touching up with some painting. Alright? Spend the time to paint your model wherever you can. Just try and match a color close as possible and paint. And you would be surprised how much of a difference just a little painting does. And there you have it, the Hawker Hunter. I want to thank first and foremost all my Patreon sponsors. Thank you so much for sponsoring me. And my friends, take care. So much more to come. Respect and one love.